Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome at the English news program here at Ora News. And now, tonight's news. The United States Ambassador in Albania, Alexander Arvizu, has attended a visit in the Central Bank of Albania. During his visit, Arvizu met with the Governor of the Central Bank, Ardian Fullani, to discuss about the scandal of the grand theft of over 713 million lek. After the meeting, the United States Ambassador in Albania, Alexander Arvizu, declared that he discussed with the governor about the theft at the central bank and emphasized the importance to improve the system. Ambassador Arvizu said that it's important to restore confidence in the bank, while adding that investigations must continue, since this is a very serious incident in a very important institution. Arvizu said that politics must be left out of this matter and justice must work hard in order to fully uncover those responsible for this theft. The Central Bank of Albania works along with the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and many other banks. The stability of the central bank is very important. Therefore, we must understand that worry of the citizens, but the most important thing is for the investigations to continue. When the Parliament gathers in September, I believe that there will be sessions about this case, since the bank must operate as an independent institution, said the United States Ambassador in Albania, Alexander Arvizu. When asked if Governor Fullani must resign, he said that the decision is up to him, but added that it's important for the bank to operate in an efficient way. According to Ambassador Arvizu, the United States of America are very interested in the stability of the bank and in the strengthening of the internal procedures in order for the people to have faith on the Central Bank of Albania. Meanwhile, a meeting of the Committee of the Bank of Albania was held today. The members of the Supervisory Council were expected to discuss on the responsibilities of the theft, and some of them have probably asked for the resignation of Governor Ardian Fullani. The theft at the Central Bank of Albania was discovered when a committee appointed by the bank was preparing to make the inventory of the money which was taken out of circulation or the money which would be thrown into the market. 2 people were arrested for their involvement in this event. Both of them, Ardian Bitray and Mimoza Bruzia, were employees of the bank. The investigation started when Ardian Bitray confessed in front of the committee appointed by the bank that along with his colleague Mimoza Bruzia, he had taken significant amounts of money from the sector in which he had worked. The governor of the Central Bank of Albania, Ardian Fullani, reacted today for the first time regarding the scandal of the theft of the 713 million lek in the Central Bank of Albania. During an interview for the Daily Mapo, Governor Fullani explained the reasons why he has not resigned, despite the numerous demands of the civil society and some members of politics. The responsibilities and duties of the governor are well defined in the law, and they can easily be found. The governor issues orders and instructions, which, in this case, have been well established. Failure or neglection of people responsible is a criminal offense and must be punished. I believe that the administrative responsibility of the governor is to ensure the stability and independence of the central bank. In this case, my decision to continue the work as governor of the bank is a signal of responsibility regarding the role that this position has in guaranteeing the banking system and providing the independence of the central bank. When asked about the opinions of some politicians, the governor stated that they have been prudent. When asked about the person who made the spectacular theft of the treasury, Ardian Bitray, Governor Fullani stated that there were no indications of him being a troubled person. The person responsible of the theft has been working in the banking system since 1993, and he has worked at the Central Bank of Albania since 2005. Considering the documents and his personal files from previous employments, there have been not any bad indications about his behavior or possible infringement of the principles of the Code of Ethics for the employee at the Bank of Albania. During his interview, the governor stated that during these last 3 weeks, a lot of things which are not true have been told about the bank, about him, and also about his family members. Governor Fullani once again ensured all the citizens in the country that even though this event is quite serious, it has not affected the reputation of the central bank, second-level banks, or the reputation of international institutions. The Parliament would react regarding the mega theft at the Central Bank of Albania if such thing is requested from the Supervisory Council of the Central Bank. This is the legal opinion of the Deputy of the Democratic Party, Eduard Halimi. The law clearly stated that the Supervisory Board is responsible for the financial stability and the relation of the Parliament with the Bank of Albania through the Supervisory Council. If any suggestion or any report comes from the Supervisory Council, then the Parliament must react, stated Deputy Eduard Halimi. The scandal in the financial institution is a criminal act, and as such, it requires full criminal investigation, added Halimi. He stressed that today's opinion has a different behavior regarding the previous one, and it will not use this event for political interest. The theft at the Central Bank of Albania is a criminal event. The Democratic Party has also previously stated that the investigation to uncover this criminal act and those responsible must continue. On the other hand, we are concerned about the stability of the country. The Prime Minister has made it clear that the stability of the country is very important, and the fact that we are the opposition does not mean that we should seek the country's instability. The previous opposition used every element to leave the country unstable, but we are a responsible opposition, and I think that all political parties should have the stability of the country as their primary interest, since this is the interest of the Albanian citizens. The Democratic Party has no doubts that the perpetrators of the theft must be brought to justice and face their responsibilities, concluded the Deputy of the Democratic Party, Eduard Halimi. The prosecution is investigating any possible lead which can give more possible information regarding the theft at the Central Bank of Albania. Next Monday, the investigation team may have available one of the most important evidence which will analyze the entire scenario of the theft of 713 million lek from the Treasury Department. The prosecution will have the footage of the 3 last years of security cameras in the so-called Department X of the Central Bank of Albania. The investigating team has asked the private company that has under its management the camera system in the institution to make them available, all the footage, so that the prosecution can see every movement of those people who are currently under investigation. The official request was made by the prosecution of Tirana, and according to Ora News, the company has not returned a specific answer regarding the existence of these images, but it has confirmed that by next week it will make available the footage it has on its servers. The Albanian law clearly states that any company that is responsible for the camera system, even the ones in the state institutions, has the obligation to maintain the footage on its server for the last 3 years. However, sources from the company have not responded to confirm the existence of these images on the server. But anyway, this Monday, there will be a confrontation with investigators regarding this issue. The institution itself, in this case the Central Bank of Albania, retains the footage in its server for only 40 days, and after this period, the videos are deleted. Footage of July and June were seized by the prosecution, but they do not provide sufficient evidence to prove the charges against Ardian Bitraj and other people arrested. A very interesting detail is the fact that 2 of the 10 people arrested, Petrit Ramohitaj and Bashkim Gjilaga, have offered cooperation with the prosecution by ensuring in this way a lower sentence if they are convicted in court. A young waiter who worked in one of the bars in Drimades was found murdered near the sea coast. Having taken information from the residents of the area, Vlora Police District has announced today that he has found dead a body on the beach shores of Drimad in Dermi. Police suggest that signs of violence were found on the victim's body, a person over 30s with the initials DV from Elbasan, raising suspicions that he may have died from violence used. Residents of the area say that the victim was working as a waiter in one of the beach's bars, but it has not yet been made clear whether the author is identified or not. Police sources said that the owner of the hotel where the victim worked was arrested. Altin Umeray is the one suspected for the murder of the waiter. It is suspected that the victim may have died from violence because the owner suspected that he took money from the bar. The police have not yet released a public statement regarding this event. The Democratic Party accused today the silence of Prime Minister Edi Rama and the Minister of Education and Sports in defense of the Chief Prosecutor of Education, who verified the legality of universities as an act against the interest of the state. The former Minister of Education, Gens Polo, says that Yusufaj has committed the offense of fraud after she used this doctorate even though she knew that it was illegal and invalid. The fact that a person, since 2012, when officially knows that her diploma is illegal and invalid, used it in her CV for job applications is a criminal offense. It is called fraud, and the criminal code provides it. In every country of Europe where we want to integrate, as Edi Rama says, in such a case, 24 hours would have not passed, and the person would have resigned or would have been discharged. But in our circumstances, when you become a deputy, when you have a prison degree, when you become a director, when you are previously sentenced in Albania, Italy, Greece, France, and other countries for various crimes, including drug trafficking, unfortunately this is being done in our administration, and this is our real problem. I hope that there will be a reaction because, even for the most severe cases, the government has chosen to remain silent, said the former Minister of Education, Gens Polo. Senior Chief Inspector of Education, Ejona Yusufaj, responded to the Democratic member of the parliament, Gens Polo, through a public letter, which among things stated that the state was dumb at that time to illegal things made to institutions of higher education. I believe that the common people are forgiven if they are deaf, but when state institutions are dumb, this is inexcusable, as happened in this case, when they did not bother to inform the students that they were losing their investments and saving of their parents while the state was sleeping. Prime Minister Edi Rama also reacted in his social network, where he wrote, Ejona Yusufaj, a victim of verbal violence of the Democratic Party. She has been the target of violent rulers who defend the university pyramids and attack a woman, a state employee, who is graduated abroad in political sciences, and is committed while working on the new team of the minister Lindita Nicola. The Democratic Party has considered the government's arguments concerning the registration of email codes of mobile devices as ridiculous. In a media statement, the legal advisor of the Democratic Parliamentary Group, Gazmend Bardhi, stressed that the civil society in our country, international experts, the Court of Justice in Luxembourg, expressed absolutely against the decision of the government to take email code because it is a unique personal code to each subscriber. Email is one of the safest routes of trafficking, finding the location and tapping messaging and conversations. And if someone owns your email code, your life may turn into an open book. However, Prime Minister Edi Rama and his minister cousin came against the whole world and definitely want to spy to enter into the privacy of every citizen, a right protected by the Constitution, said Bardhi. Our privacy of every institution and every citizen is a right protected by the Constitution. He also accused the Commissioner for the Protection of Personal Data, Besnik Dervishi, for the attitude held to the government's decision to register the email code. The Commissioner for Personal Data Protection has become the subject of jokes recently. We do not intervene, he says, but if someone's personal information will be misused, then we will respond. So, according to the government's loyal, but not loyal to personal data, he would intervene after someone's life is broken, said Bardhi. The Democratic Party calls once again the citizens of the country not to submit the email code because privacy is sacred and guaranteed by the law. We call the phone companies not to submit personal information of subscribers to the government. Otherwise, they will face legal consequences and massive boycott of the Albanians. reads the statement of the legal advisor of the Democratic Parliamentary Group. The Democratic Party continues to ask about the Prime Minister's reaction about the event that happened nearly a month ago in the Parliament of Albania. The Democratic member of the Parliament, Sherefedin Sheu, in a media outlet, said that the Prime Minister is silent for 35 days, even though it was clearly seen that he was not a spectator but the organizer, the commissioning of violence. According to him, any normal prime minister would have taken a stance when he is proved with official documents that his party deputy was previously convicted of kidnapping and prostitution traffic. The serious act of violence in parliament and live threat made to the Democratic Party representatives would have made any normal prime minister of a normal country to react, to hold a position. But Rama is silent for 35 days, even though it was clearly seen that he was not a spectator, but the organizer and requester of violence. After this unprecedented event that brought political pressure and forced the Democratic Party to interrupt its relations with the parliament, heinous facts for incrimination that Edi Rama has made to the assembly came to light. Each normal prime minister of a normal country would have reacted. He would have taken a stance when there are official documents proving that his party deputy was convicted of kidnapping and prostitution trafficking. But Edi Rama is silent, even though we all know that the deputy with criminal record is in parliament today with his approval, and that it was the prime minister, he who removed 2 female candidates from the list only to pave the way for Arben Doka. The silence of Rama is helping him to enter in history as the prime minister who incriminated his party, incriminated the administration, and incriminated the parliament, concluded Sheu in his speech. The deputy mayor of Tirana, Eno Bosto, has again reacted today about the intervention of the police in the deployment of a traffic light on Arsim Vokshi Street by not allowing the continuation of the work. According to Bosto, on Wednesday, the state police officers have been violent to 5 employees of the municipality and accompanied them to the police station. Bosto throws direct accusations to Prime Minister Edi Rama for this event. He appeals to the state police not to become party with policy. Bozdo addressed an appeal to the general prosecutor Adriatic Lala as well. If the violence and kidnapping of 5 employees yesterday was not enough, police forces today again violated the law by not allowing the continuation of the work, although it should be the guarantor of law enforcement. We are convicted now that we have to do with a political order to stop this project of the municipality of Tirana, and this is done directly by the Prime Minister Edi Rama, who has now declared war to the traffic lights of Tirana. We want to inform people that the municipality does its duty to implement municipal projects, but political interest and political agenda of Prime Minister Rama are not in favor of the public. I call the state police to do its duty, to be at the appropriate level of their uniform and not to fall in the positions of Inuk. I call on the chief prosecutor Lala to investigate the kidnapping of 5 municipal employees in the middle of the day, 5 honest people who were doing their duty. I call on the representatives of human rights to know this case because the fundamental rights and freedoms are being violated, said Eno Bozdo. There was a reaction of the state police after his statement. Press office clarifies that the police started verifications and investigations on 5 employees of the municipality who have started to work for the removal of a traffic light at Arsim Vokshi. They started by cutting the trees, damaging the sidewalk and other interventions in the street. Anyway, the police said that the working continued and that the traffic light will be placed in another place, not more than 40 meters away. Thousands of people welcomed the first night of celebrations, creating a warm and welcoming atmosphere in the start of a beer fest in Korça. The activity, organized for the 8th year in a row by the town hall, was associated with the highly selected music and the best Albanian beer, among which Bira Korça, as the first Albanian beer, the symbol of the southeast city. The celebration started at 8:30 p.m. and continued until late at night. The city streets throughout the night until the early hours of the morning were swarming by the presence of people like never before due to the arrival of immigrants and many foreign tourists, mainly from Western countries. Consumption of beer during this celebration has been too high, so becoming a symbol and its tradition with a fairly large similarity with the countries of Central Europe and Germany, known for their high consumptions of this beverage. The center of activity throughout the night was the area near the park, while the municipality of Korça had made a more comfortable solution for all those citizens who prefer more peace, opening several new facilities across the city. Under the banner Korça Beer Zone, this activity, always developed in mid-August, showed once again that this celebration is becoming year by year a tradition for all Albanians wherever they are, bringing high profits to local tourism. Many citizens of Korça, visitors from different districts of our country, and immigrants expressed enthusiastic about the organization of this year. According to them, the presence of the best beers and modern music that will culminate in the following nights until the 7th of August will increase more the number of participations in this celebration. At the official opening of the Beer Fest, several participants, local and foreign dignitaries, held speeches, among them the head of the municipality of Korça. After Monday's roundup of 40 people on Wednesday, the police arrested an imam and another person suspected of terrorist activities following raids in Gjilan and Skanderaj. Kosovo police said the unnamed imam arrested in Gjilan was suspected of encouraging jihad, meaning holy war. They also said they found the cleric hiding in woods near his home. Both arrested people have allegedly recruited people for terrorist purposes and initiated racial, religious, and ethnic hatred. The arrests are linked with the earlier roundup of 4 persons in June in Kaçanik who are facing the same charges. On Monday, the police arrested 40 people on suspicion of membership of terrorist group linked to the Islamic State IS, the hardline Sunni Muslim organization fighting to create a so-called caliphate in Iraq and Syria. The state prosecution said after the arrest of the 40 people that different profiles are under investigations, including imams. The basic court in Pristina has meanwhile said that 40 detainees arrested on Monday will be remanded in custody for 30 days, owing to fears that they may flee Kosovo or influence each other's testimonies. They are charged with organizing and participating in terrorist groups, inciting religious, racial, and ethnic hatred, recruiting for terrorist purposes, and possession and unauthorized use of weapons. Police searched about 60 houses in different towns during the operation and confiscated weapons and explosives as material evidence. Baki Kelani, a police spokesperson, said the operation followed 2 years of investigation. A number of Muslim Albanians from the Balkan have joined the sectarian conflict in Iraq and Syria. Police say 16 people from Kosovo have died in fighting in Syria and Iraq so far. On August 10, it was reported that 18-year-old Patriot Matoshi from Kosovo had been killed in the conflict in Syria. The International Center for the Study of Radicalization, ISRA, a think tank based in King's College, London, believes about 300 Albanian fighters from Kosovo, Macedonia, and Albania have joined militant groups in Syria. And that was the English news prepared for today. Have a great evening. See you tomorrow. Good night.